It's the second and final day of the Southern Africa Telecommunications Networks and Applications Conference. The importance of artificial intelligence being used to create a more efficient and inclusive society has been at the front and center of discussions. To tell us more, we cross back to our reporter and SABC News anchor, Nompumelelo Siziba. Nompu, there's been absolutely fascinating things that have come out of the last conversation where you spoke about those research papers. What else has been said and by whom?
Thanks very much, Diabo. Yes, well, the conference has pretty much come to its end after the awarding of awards to people who produced innovative work and positive research papers. And of course, as you say, we spoke to one of those research submissions earlier. I think really it has been quite an enlightening session. It's really talked about how AI is instrumental in being able to create efficient businesses, as well as then be able to deliver more efficient services to consumers. There's been talk about AI having the ability to generate personalized services to consumers as we get more advanced with time. But of course, there is still the issue of the fact that there's about 30% of South Africans who are not digitally connected, and there are talks around that to ensure that more people are included in the digital revolution, because of course that means the benefit of being more economically involved, and you can participate even from your own home by having an internet connection. So a lot of positives, and talk about how AI can positively impact services like the healthcare sector, education, and much more. But to close up our broadcast on this, I'm joined by Pushkar Gokhale. He is the Chief Digital and Strategy Officer at Telkom. Actually, his name is Pushkar Gokhale. He's the Chief Digital and Strategy Officer at Telkom, as well as the Acting Chair of SATNAC. Thank you very much, Pushkar, for joining us. So, of course, a lot has been discussed at this summit, at this conference. What have been the key takeaways for you, bearing in mind that, of course, our audience is not as au fait with AI as you guys are?
Sure. Well, I think the biggest takeaway is about the students and what they're researching. Their research predominantly is moving towards AI, and AI is about machine learning, is about looking at data and how do we analyze that, and then taking it towards consumption model, like you alluded. I think we started the conference with the group CEO talking to us about ethical AI and how do we use it. And then we had the Honorable Minister talking about policy certainty as we start foraying into AI. These are key components within AI, but the larger component is, of course, innovation. At the end of fear is innovation, and we need to thrive to do innovation while managing the ethical side of it and also having this policy certainty across it. The students have been the stars of this conference, and that's been across 26 years of SATNAC embedded with COE.
Now, I wanted to ask you about your School of Excellence, the Telkom School of Excellence. When you have students coming through that system, do most of them or all of them pretty much get absorbed? And how instrumental has that been in the research and development space in terms of technology?
Yeah, I think today, if you look around, especially technology leaders across industry in South Africa, you'll find a COE student who's climbed up the ladder. Within our, in Telkom Group itself, we've got executives who came from the COE program. I think it's just not about Telkom, but also our partners who've been sponsoring this. It is a key component of creating that pipeline. It also gives us an avenue to ensure that the right kind of mathematics, science, everything else that is needed to drive innovation or drive education forward is inculcated within that program. Yeah, go ahead.
Of course, we have been focusing on this conference, speaking to different players, but I just really want you to re-emphasize for the viewers at home, why should South Africans care about artificial intelligence and how it's going to impact their lives, and particularly when it comes to the education space. Do you think that more needs to be done to ensure that there's more alignment with the outcomes of, matric and university, such that more people are on top of AI and can contribute to its development?
Yeah, I think for the audience, it's important to understand that technology goes through an evolution. We can't forget that the zeros and ones are binaries, and they create all the programs that we see today. AI is going to be fundamental in changing the way teaching is done. And we see that in the Khan Academy, where you flip the school across rather than the students sitting. The teachers can now see multiple students and then personalize the teaching within the classroom. I think that's the power of data and analytics that we can bring towards Africa. I think one of the key takeaways was that, yes, there are applications and there are large language models that we can use within Africa, but I think the infrastructure, the ecosystem that needs to be created within Africa, within South Africa is key, because then we can solve African problems by Africans. So to all the audiences and to students who are listening, I think, AI is here, but concentrate on the key basics and then build the AI models yourself, which we as industry are eager to inculcate. We use a lot of them in fraud management, in detection. You talked about health space, in autonomous networks. So a lot of the work that the students are doing is actually seeping into the industry as well.
Excellent. Pushkar, thank you so much for your insights there as we close our broadcast of the SATNAC conference, really speaking about the importance of AI and how we can't run away from it. It's pivotal in shaping our future, in shaping the services that we're going to enjoy, and the key thing being that we need more South African students to get into the STEM type of subjects, that is your science, technology, engineering and mathematics, so that they can be key contributors, because ultimately as we grow that body of brain trust, we'll be more competitive as a society relative to global competitors. With that, it's back to you in studio.